Well, yeah, so Oscars riddled, with this particular controversy right there. Every other celebration was sort of under wraps or not celebrated quite well because everything was overshadowed with, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on stage. Now, joining me to have this conversation, I have Lexi the Comic. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a TV and radio personality. And also Foster Romanus, who's a stand-up comedian and actor. Guys, you're welcome. How are you doing?
He's also a TV personality.
He's also a TV personality, yes. I have seen a lot of him. I've seen a lot of it. You know the little thing he did when he was coming in? Yeah. Uncle Fred, you want to do a little bit of that for our audience? You don't want to do that?
Stop it!
Anyways, guys, so Oscars happened, riddled with huge controversy because I don't think anyone expected this. They do scripts and things in there, but this, like that, but the comedy, community or the comedians in Ghana. When you saw that, when you saw the story, what's the reaction like?
I didn't see that coming though, because in my number of years pursuing this career, I've never seen somebody go the extreme of actually walking on stage. Well, I've been in that position, but it didn't happen.
What happened with your own?
Oh, I went to perform in Kumasi. This story I think I've shared a couple of times.
Okay.
And that was my early days in comedy. I didn't know the rules of the game, so I prepared a routine, and it was Salah Fest for our people up there. And I had a routine about those up there too. So when I started performing, I think 2 minutes into my performance, I heard one guy from the back scream, "Hey, where Jimmy? Are you Jimmy Singh?" I didn't take it like it's I thought like you just move on. It's one of those things. And I saw this guy walk up on stage with a broken bottle.
Wow.
So I had to run. But it didn't happen.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's unfortunate. This serves as a bad precedent for anybody who finds himself in auditorium that is like a center of the joke to actually walk up on stage and
to do that.
To do that.
Romanus, I also take your reaction as well when this happened.
Well, I was happy because I knew there were going to be opportunities for interviews. Because at least we are discussing comedy now after a long while, So I was happy that at least there's a spotlight.
That's an interesting angle to this.
Exactly, because you never get people inviting you to talk about comedy. Once in a while you're invited, or when there is a program, you're interviewed on your program. Nobody, and then once a while, we want to discuss comedy, and then we are done. So, this is like, he's been on radio for quite a number of times, just talking about only this thing the entire week. But I doubt, there will be a time where the entire week, every radio, TV station will be calling a comedian that we are talking about comedy. You understand?
Okay.
So I saw
get
that
where
an
you're coming
opportunity.
from.
Though it's a bad act, but then it's a blessing.
But I think Foster, we should also look at that too, because it only takes negative news to get the comedy conversation on platforms.
Well, not to catch you, you did just end with a blessing in disguise. A lot of people also believe that it has been like that for Chris Rock because there was a surge in, he was selling tickets for a tour. There was a surge in that. So some people
it
running
raised
towards that
the
angle.
rankings now. People are buying now. He's got more money for the show and more PR.
So you look at it that way.
Also in that line, it is. But then, the violence part is what we're all trying to say is not the best. Because comedy, in its sense, one way or the other, will be like a jab or will affect somebody. You're talking about, even when you're talking about yourself, it's against you. People are laughing at your pain. So obviously when you're talking about another thing, another person will feel offended. And sometimes there's the spontaneity of trying to pick happenings around you, into your joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that the call for comedians to know, to draw the line or to find the balance in sharing their jokes, do you think these calls are valid or are genuine at this time? Because a lot of people believe that he probably cracked that joke because he didn't know about Jada's alopecia story where she shared, some days also ago before the incident. Others also believe that, comedians like doing that a lot. They don't know when to not talk about this and that. How do you respond to...
What would be the line?
A
comedian is supposed to practically talk about everything and anything.
But does it have to hurt the feelings of someone?
Case in point. what if he didn't know? What if he knew? You understand?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm sure he's spoken about imbeciles, he's spoken about some junkies, he's spoken about other people. Why her? What makes her so special and different? You understand?
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just trying to create humor with practically everything around you, trying to make it light and making, getting money or getting paid. So I don't think that there should be a call that this is the limitation for a comedian.
Okay.
There is no such thing. In theater or in arts, to precise, it is used to address all these things. A stand-up comedian might use his act to address societal issues.
True.
Or things happening that he thinks must be, looked at, but then in a comic way.
Right.
So you can't say that there should be a line, because if he's saying something that does not go against you but goes against another person, that is okay. But once it goes against you, hey,
then you have a problem with that.
I think it's
Please hold your thought for a while. So you're still watching Simply Showbiz right here. Engaging Foster Romanus and Lexi the Comic. Also joining us via Zoom is Eris Jacinta. She's also a comedian. Jacinta, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm also great. Let's quickly find your reaction
she wants us to see she has a curtain.
So yeah, your reaction when Will Smith went on stage and struck Chris Rock.
My reaction.
Yeah.
My reaction was, hey.
No, but down here, I was asking, your colleagues earlier what they make of such, a situation for someone to walk on stage and attack you while you're cracking jokes. As a comedian, how would you describe such a thing,
I don't ever want to find myself in that space, because I always say that in life, in situations, you never know how you react to something until you find yourself in it. It's safe to say, oh, I would have done this. Why did this person do this? Why did that person react that way? But I tell you, you never know how you would react until you are actually in it. And I just want to admire Chris Rock's response to the situation, because honestly, I cannot imagine what I would do or how I would feel if I ever found myself in that situation. It was totally uncalled for. It was totally uncalled for. The world we're living in now, I don't think that violence should be the answer to anything at all. Anything at all. I don't think that violence, anger, that level of outburst to strike someone should be the answer to anything at all. So I don't want to imagine myself in that space, because like I said, you never know how you're going to act until you're in it. Trust me.
I get that. So Will Smith, after the whole thing, apologized. Now, we're also learning that he has resigned from the Film Academy and says he's heartbroken. Do you think that is enough?
I don't know what Will Smith is going through as a person. And I must say that being a creative person, my colleagues are there. Let me not look like I'm ignoring them. If you know very well, being a creative person is a very, very mixed level of emotions. We go through a lot of different kinds of emotions. I don't know what Chris Rock, as an entertainer, as a father, as a husband, as somebody who's gone through a lot of media heckling and whatever is going through right now. And I wish that he goes through whatever he's going peacefully and nicely. If him resigning from the Oscars and apologizing is going to make him heal and begin to see things from a different perspective, I really wish him all the best in whatever he's trying to do, because that reaction was a reaction of a man who, should I say broken, going through a lot of emotional because you're laughing, and the next minute you want to give a Bianca, So I really wish he goes through whatever he is going through nicely, because see, it's not easy. A creative person goes through a lot, especially in your head, and most of the time you don't even know how to talk to somebody or who to even talk to. So I really wish he goes through everything.
Right. Let me also get your take on this one, where lots of people were calling for Chris to press charges, against Will Smith. Would you have advised, him if you were would you have done that? I mean to say, if you were in his shoes.
So I'm just imagining myself giving Chris Rock advice. Like, Chris Rock, see him. Give me 10%. But anyways, you see, like I said, I admired his calmness, his professionalism, because maybe if it were me, like, it would not be like that. Do you understand? So I really admire his calmness and everything. But they're both comic people. And I am sure Chris would... I don't think he should sue. I don't think that would be the answer. But it had though.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you very much for that. But I'll engage you a little further. But let me also find out from. So this is how the statement reads in part. It says actor Will Smith has resigned from Hollywood's Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, saying on Friday that his slapping of presenter Chris Rock on stage at this year's Oscars ceremony was shocking, painful and inexcusable. Now he says, I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken. And that's just a little bit of what he said in his statement. I still feel that people would want to get Chris to react, because one of the comedy shows he mentioned that he's still processing. I think that's what I got from one of. Do you think that he will ever touch on that, or really let us in on what he's thinking or what he was going through when that thing happened?
Yeah, he will. He will. Well, that's the more reason why people are buying his tickets, because they want to actually hear him talk about it and still make jokes out of the situation that happened. So yes, basically, I know definitely. As a comedian, you try to make gold out of whatever situation you find yourself. So I know, hopefully, yes, on the special, we'll definitely touch on it. But my brother was making, before you quickly went to Jacinta, I just want people to understand that in every joke there is a victim. If I decide to make jokes of fat people, slim people will be very happy. If I decide to make jokes of fat people will be happy. So in every joke, there is a center of, or there is a character who is being made fun of. So we should just allow it to be a joke. It shouldn't move beyond what it is, and just leave it that way. And when people say, "Don't cross the line," a lot
of people would want to argue about those. A lot of people would want to argue on the feelings, because they feel. See, we can take a joke, but when the person will have to sit down and in a way will feel hurt, would that not be? No.
How do you feel?
Because I feel insulted.
As a joke.
A joke.
Explain
I'm coming.
Go ahead.
I come to a comedy show to perform. You've laughed at every joke. I don't think Chris Rock came there just to make mockery of that individual. He made jokes of everybody in the room. When it got to your turn, you just couldn't take the joke again. And people are saying that, why would you go there?
Because they felt it was insensitive.
Insensitivity.
I think Will has been going through a lot, because since the issue of his wife came with the whole cheating thing, and
So you believe that that's what sparked?
I think it's something that he's actually probably still trying to deal with, and his family issues, etc. So there are a lot on Chris Will, and I think that this is not because of. I don't think that it's as a result of what Chris said at that night. It is as a result of all the other things he had to.
Because initially he was even laughing at the joke.
He was laughing
until
he saw Kilalumi on the side saying, "Hey,
I've still not made my point."
You haven't made. Give me a minute.
The crossing of the line. You see, you will never know that you are crossing the line until you cross it. That line. Right. I don't know the line.
Imaginary
line we clean. You get it. I might think, Akofa is one lovely lady. She takes everything out. She doesn't really make big deals out of issues until maybe you touch on her forehead. But you've never discussed with me that your forehead is a very big issue to you. So when I come on a platform and I decide to make fun of maybe your forehead and you just blow out of proportion, then that's like a big deal.
Okay. Do you think this incident has made comedians moving forward will have to be careful when they're on stage?
Not me.
Why are you laughing?
Unless I don't see it. Oh, I will say it. I'll bring eraser and erase the line.
It's one.
That line they will draw to come and say don't cross that. I will erase it before I start. I don't think it will. It's part of the job. It's like an occupational hazard. You have to deal with it. But you just pray that, and this should be a call to other event organizers, that moving forward at any comedy show, at least the artist security should be paramount.
Okay.
So that in case there are, things like that, the security can take care of that. You understand?
Okay.
So, but for me as a comedian,
I'll take your point as well, but let me quickly find out from you, Jacinta. Do you think this in any way will make you cautious when you're on stage?
I don't know how cautious again I can be, honestly, because all my life I have made sure that I deliver comedy. I never go on stage with the intention of causing any sort of injury to anybody's feelings or emotions. So this is really no stress for me. I'm not going to let it bother me because I feel I'm already operating in the best of my capacity. So I'm not going to let this one make me say, hey, cancel X, say Y instead. Nah, I think I'm already functioning well.
Okay.
Just all my colleagues and I should just buy helmets and wear just in case.
Just in case, huh? Well, let me also find out from you, what have you been up to the year 2022 and what are we expecting from Jacinta?
What have I been up to?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I'm not So, for those of you who don't know, I just got back from the UK, and I did a couple of shows back there. Let me come back to Ghana. I was on the stage. I was at the Indigo O2. Yes, I was at Leicester Square Theatre. I was in Kent.
Nobody knows. Oh, comedy.
I did comedy. And I was so happy. And every time I was about to be introduced, I said, like, all the way from Ghana. I was like, it felt so good. And in the course of the year, I'll be doing more comedy. Hopefully, my special should be coming up later in the year, inshallah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we're wishing you nothing but the best. We'll be looking out for, your shows before the year ends as well. And that was Jacinta over there giving us her thoughts on our conversation. And I will come to you as well. Let me come to Foster because I want to find out whether if you'll be cautious on stage before I find out what you've been up to. What else should we expect from you
Okay,
this
so
year?
there is a comedy show on Easter Sunday, which I'm part with him as well. Strengths of Comedy at the Fantasy Dome. We will be there. And then in the course of the year, I drop a single, music video.
Okay.
I'm going to be dropping more songs. And then,
Be acting more as well.
Yeah, there is another stage play, also at the National Theatre, the 17th and 18th. My Life Theatre. So yeah, you should be there at the National Theatre and also at the Fantasy Dome. Yeah, and then comedy, music. And then if you are not married, we can marry.
I see. How are you combining music with comedy? A lot of people have been advocating on staying on one cause, just making sure that you fulfill that path. But you're doing more than one. For me,
it's just about time management
and
then setting your priorities right, knowing what to do at what point in time exactly. So yeah, we try our best to just balance it and arrange it in such a way that we'll be comfortable.
Is the money coming?
Oh, it will come.
It will come.
But talking about money, let me say big ups to my chairman inside Takwa, MC Nana K. So say you gonna say money no day. So
let me come to you, Lexi. Plans for the year 2022, and if you'll be cautious on stage moving forward.
This boy, God Jimmy.
Oh no, that one there, it won't deter us, especially me. The best surgeons in the world sometimes miss miss out on the people they are operating on and they lose lives. But it doesn't stop them from going on to the surgery room to work on people. So we will still do what we need to do. Until we cross the line, we will never know there is a line.
Don't come
shows. If you have emotional issues, I would only advise you stay away from any comedy show, because comedy show, we are there to release stress, laugh at our pain.
Okay.
That's basically what comedy is. And what I've been up to, my comedy special I did last year, I've been touring the whole of Ghana with it. February I was in Kumasi. I'm planning to go to Takoradi hopefully next month if God permits. And yes, I'm on the show with Foster Romanus Easter Sunday, Strengths of Laughter, right? And also our campus tour with my brother Obi Amponsa. We'll be going to UDS very soon, hopefully this month. So UDS people, anybody watching us from UDS, we'll be on your campus very soon.
Right.
And yes, radio, TV, still on all the platforms.
A quick one. I understand there was a plan to put a comedy association together. How far is that going?
It's been registered. We now have a structure, a constitution, a whole leadership setup meant to drive the agenda of GH Comedy. I think in due time we will officially come on a platform like this and talk to people about where we want to go and what we want to achieve.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for speaking to me. So that was Lexi, the comic. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a TV and radio personality. You might want to check out their comedy show happening this Easter, Strings of Laughter. And then also Foster Romanus, who's also a stand-up comedian and actor.
A shout-out.
You want to give your designer a shout-out? I hear you.
Kweku Outlook for making me look this dapper, and Baba Sadiq of 3 Music for fusing comedy with
3 Music Awards. Right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of our show today. This has been Simply Showbiz. My name is Akofa on Twitter, and on Instagram, it's @IamAkofa_. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Millie K Garments at Dakuman for my outfit. You can call her on 0243 224 809. Thanks going out to my entire production team, Owusu Arai, to Nafti, and everyone else as well. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and enjoy the rest of our programs as well.